Okay, I got the micro switch wired up and tested a few times, and now I'm going to do a test to make sure that it's picking up the right numbers and coming back to my 0 every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial in a hole over here on this little fixture template that I got on there. It's just a plate that I use for running various program or parts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial in a hole, zero everything out, and then machine home it so that it knows where that hole is at. And then I'm going to, it'll put the numbers in, and then I will move it off somewhere else and zero it there so that it doesn't know where it's at anymore. And then I'll see if it comes back to the correct 0 position. So I will move over here. I don't know if it's necessary to show you, but I'll show you me dialing it in. Okay, so we're going to go down into this hole right here, and we're going to dial that hole in. Okay, put it on 0 over here. There's 0. And not touching. And oh, got it pretty close on X. So just basically need to get that to 0 there. Or close to it. It should get me close. Okay, so we're 0 there. Right. Re-zero it here. So we're so far off that we're checking it like an egg shape. Okay, so 0. Now that is 11/10 or 11th thou low. So we need to move the spin, don't mind this, approximately 5.5. And there's 5.5. Now I'll put this on 0 again. And we are 1 thou below, half a thou. Right there. 0. 0. Perfect. 0 all the way around. So I am going to move my Z up and out of the way. I'm going to come over here. If you're familiar with this software, you'll know what I'm doing, but I don't know if... Okay, so now what I'm going to do is 0 all. So I'm going to 0 out my readings. Okay, so now it's going to it's zeroed everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the stop that's taken the place of the stop that was on there. So I'm going to go up here and edit, unlock. I'm going to unlock my program, and I'm going to remove this. Oh, I think it'll overwrite that. So I guess I don't need to do that. I think it'll overwrite that when I set 0. So I set the 0 return. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to move the machine to that max. So I hit that. It's telling me make sure everything's out of the way and ready to go, because it's going to go all the way to the end. I'd say, yeah, okay, go ahead. And you can see, back up, but you can see it here now. It should move to this stop. Put those numbers in. Now it should go back to 0. It should bring that indicator right over here back to 0. Right over where we were. And then I'll drop the indicator in the hole and check. Make sure that I haven't checked it since I put that new Now I can see that it ain't even close. It's not even close on y-axis. I bet it didn't overwrite that. It couldn't have. Well, poop. Let's try it again. I gotta dial the hole in again. Actually, I'm just gonna get it close and then see if it'll. Right there. Try this again. Go back over here. This time I am going to erase that or delete that out of there. So, oh, you know what? I think I was supposed to set 0, not set return. I did that wrong. I believe I did that wrong. 0 all. I think I was supposed to hit this right here, and then that'll overwrite that. I'm going to move my Z up a little bit further though. I don't like it that close to the table. I value my indicator. Okay, I'm going to 0 all right there. This time I'm going to hit this. I get those flipped around, and I do that all the time. I don't know why. It's not that hard to remember. Need to make a note to myself somewhere, I guess. So I'll watch this number up here this time. The number up here in this, it should change, especially the Y, because it was way off on Y. Right now it's at 6.559 on a minus. Should pop in new numbers. It should populate new numbers, I think. Yes, it did. Yeah, so I hit the wrong one. Sorry about that. Go back and see. I switch those two around all the time. I need to make a note up. I think I'm going to put a note right on my laptop for setting 0. I mean, I mess around with this all the time and. In order to get it. And this time it's going to come back close, I think. Yep. So we'll dial in the hole again. Drop her in the hole. My indicator still should be set, so I don't think I bumped it. Leastways I don't. We'll find out here. There's 0. And over here, got to go to minus side. Zero. We're going to go in just one way. 0. 0, 0. Okay, we're dialed in again. All right. So, This time I hope it works. We'll find out. Alright, so I'll zero everything. Now we're all zeroed out. Now if I set 0, it should change those numbers up there again. Not by much, but right now Y is 4.220. So, yeah, everything's out of the way. See, and this is still going back, way back further, or way out further to the end than I want to do. I will put the other one on here and go to a short distance when I'm running parts. That's the whole plan anyway, and then it'll eliminate all this machine home way out to the max travel. You don't have to have your machine home at max travel all the time. See if that number changes. Yep, changed to 4 inches, 292.5. See if it comes out to the right spot here now. Should put that hole right under that indicator. Okay, let's drop her in the hole and see what we got. Oh, we're about a thou. 0. Yep, so we're about a thou on Y. Now, that might have been my mistake there. So, but now what I'm going to do, since I already know that's machine home, I'm going to take and move the spindle up out of the way, and I'm just going to move it to an erroneous, just a random spot. I'll come out here, go over there, put it right there. Now I'm going to go back at 0. I'm going to zero my software out, or my set position out there, and see if it rewrites my set position. So I'm just going to 0 all there. So now it doesn't know where it's at, because it thinks where we moved it is 0 now. Now I'm going to go over here and set the 0 return, and that should move to that microstop, and then move the correct distance over and 0 everything. We'll see. Moment of truth. It's going to go all the way to the maxes. Well, it's actually not the max anymore, because I moved it back to where the ways are not being exposed every time I move to the max travel. I don't like that. I'd rather give up that little bit of travel than have my ways exposed. Chips fall in, if would happen to fall in there, and then you slide them in underneath. No, that's not a good thing. Here it comes. If this works, then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with my stop. It looks like it's right on X. I would say we got a winner. One, 0. So now that we know that that's 0, and see now the control software moved the number back to 0. So now for the next test. this is going to be the test for way shorter travel. So what I'm going to do is take one of my extra stops here, and take it and put it on there. And let's just say I'm working on a part here, and it's only, you know, this long. That's the max travel I need. So why would I want to go way down there for machine home? I'm going to move my machine home over here. I'm going to make it so it's right there in my machine home, so that I never have to go completely way down there. So we're at 0 there, or close. Let me put that. It's about a thou off on Y. I'm going to fix that. Zero. Okay, so that's fixed. So that's 0 there. I'm just gonna move it up, move the indicator up without moving the table. Now I'm gonna come back over to the software again. And this time I'm gonna click the right one. First I gotta zero everything out. Tell it that that's 0. So 0 all. So now that's 0. And I'm going to set to 0. Say yes. Now it's going to come over. It's only going to come over to that one, the stop I set inside here. I shortened it up. So the number was 20, minus 20 inches on X in my program. And now it's substantially different. It's minus, if you look at the program, now it's minus 8 inches, 350. And she should go right back to 0 here. We'll go down. Ta-da! Yep. I'm going to like it. It's definitely going to be a change. A change for the better, because now I can take this here and shorten or lengthen it, and I can move it over here if I want. I can move it over to the other end. So, you know, that has bugged me. Well, it's bugged me at work too, because the machines at work are the same way. You got to go to the home position, which is way down on the other end. Why not have it set up like this, where you can set that home position? You can leave the max travel out there so that you never run into trouble going too far. But put one in the middle so you can move that machine home, and then that way you don't have to waste all that time and waste all the movement to move way over to the end like that. So I'm thinking that this is going to work out real well for me, and I might go and do the Y-axis too, because the Y-axis still moves out to their micro switch, which I don't like to start with, because it's not really a switch. It's it's just a contact point. And I think, and I just so happen to have 2 more. I don't know, on my Z, I could probably mount it on there somewhere. The Y-axis will be fairly easy, just to have to drill 4 holes into the machine, and then drill and tap and put a rail on there for the stop to ride in. But for now, this X was the biggest one, because you know, you move all the way down to the end and back, and down there and back. And you know, once that number is stored in that program, as long as I don't take this fixture plate out, it's going to know where that hole is now. I know what the number is to that hole, and I can find that hole now all the time, all day long. And it'll know where it's at. And regardless I shut it down or start it up, I know where that number is from this stop. From this stop right here. From that contact point, when that switch, you know, fires, I know the distance. So Anyway, I just thought I'd give you a little quick update on that. I know the other video was a little long. It was almost 2 hours long. You can skip around it and you'll kind of get the gist of what I was doing. So anyway, until next time, hopefully the coolant pump will get here soon. I'm going to put a much bigger coolant pump on. Actually bigger and cheaper. It's just a sump pump in a 5-gallon bucket. I'm going to make a plate on top of the bucket for the pump to sit and into the coolant, and then I want to put a relay so that the signal that the controller puts out will fire the relay, and because the relay that I want to put in there is only going to be like, it won't even be an amp, it'll be like 50 milliamps, so it won't put any stress on my board, my computer board. And do the flood, and then I'm going to also do air on my spindle too, on my cutter. You know, an air, it's not really an air mist, because I'm not going to put, I don't want to put mist in the air, but I'm going to run the air mist without any coolant in it, just cool it with air. Because a lot of times all you need is just something to blow the chips out of the way. Cutting chips over is the worst thing you can do to your end mill, because those chips, they're harder, and plus when they start to cut, they slide, and it'll dull your end mill up. You want to keep the chips away. You don't want to recut chips. You want to make sure you're not recutting chips. And so, that way you don't have to stand there if you're not running coolant with an air hose or a brush or something to blow the chips out of the way. I'll have a little air. So will be the next project.